Welcome to the very first episode of Rio's Life. I'm Mario. On this channel, we're going to be discussing things like lifestyle, family, travel, and product reviews, which brings me to today's discussion about Teslas. I get a ton of questions about the Model 3 versus the Model Y, why I bought two Teslas. Today, we're going to talk about all of that, and we're going to roast in 105 degrees here in Austin, Texas. All right, so as you can see, the Model 3 sits a little bit lower to the ground than the Model Y. The Model Y has additional ride height because it is actually an SUV. The Model 3 is more of a sporty sedan. Now, if you look a little bit closer, you can see that the Model 3 has that silver trim. That's because it's 2018. The Model Y has the blackout, so it's called Chrome Delete. And that's essentially for all Model 3s and Model Ys newer than 2019. The Model Y is slightly wider than the Model 3 as well, which makes it, again, really useful if you have luggage or if you have kids or adults that may be riding with you as well. You can really get a good look at it here. It is wider than the Model 3. The Model 3 has a fairly standard trunk in comparison to other sedans. There's an additional compartment in here that you can store things like charging cables. The Model Y, however, has a lot more space, which allows you to fit multiple bags. And there's even a privacy screen here as well. So when this hatch comes down, you can't see what's in the back. So if you're comparing the 3 to the Y and you're looking for trunk space, the Y is definitely the way to go. So both the Model 3 and the Model Y have fronts. Since it's an EV, there's no engine here. It's an additional storage compartment. And on the 3 is a little bit smaller. On the Model Y, however, I find it to be a little bit more useful. It's deeper, a little bit wider as well. And so again, that's additional storage space if you want to put grocery bags or additional charging cables or things like that. The Model 3 doesn't have a giant back seat. I mean, I'm 5'9", decent sized guy, and I can sit in here without my knees touching the back of the seat. So there's enough space. I would say if you were maybe like 6'5", 6'6", it'd be a lot tighter in here for you without sliding the seat up. But if you're talking about putting in a car seat, there's plenty of space in here and the seat next to me as well to have two car seats back here and enough space for maybe a small diaper bag. So decent sized back seat, but it's not huge. The Model 3 and the Model Y both feature a 15-inch touchscreen. So this is the heart of the car. This is the control center, if you will. Everything that you'll be doing in terms of driving or checking cameras or using apps will happen over here. So I'll give you a more in-depth view of this a little bit later. Just note that the 3 and the Y both have the same size touchscreen. If there's one thing I don't like about the Model 3, as you can see, my knees are pretty close to the steering wheel. Again, I'm 5'9". I'm not a giant guy, but there is not a ton of space to move your knees around. Even if you lower the seat, it definitely feels like you're sitting down into a sporty, low-sitting car. That is what this is. The Model 3 has a few storage compartments where you can put your phone and charge here. You can even flip this up as well and put in a USB drive if you want to record your drives. And there's also some additional space right here where you can put maybe phone, money, wallet, things like that. There's actually a decent-sized glove box in the Model 3, which I really like. It is really easy to store a lot of things in there and just shut it. Both the Model 3 and the Model Y feature fairly nice vegan leather. I like it. These are also heated seats in the 3 and the Y, and it feels pretty comfortable. I really like the panoramic sunroof, which you see in the Model 3 and the Model Y. The Model Y is missing this pillar, so it's actually an undivided panoramic sunroof, but this is actually still fairly good in the Model 3 as well. As you can see in the Model Y, the back seat is much more generous. There's a lot of leg room here. So if you were a taller person, there's also a ton of headroom as well. You'd be really comfortable back here. As you can see, my son's car seat is sitting next to me and I'm not that close to it. So there's a lot of space in between us if I wanted to put some things here. You want to say hey to the camera? Say hey. Hey. All right. So yeah, just a larger back seat. This is a much more comfortable space to be if you're going to do a road trip versus sitting in the back seat of the Model 3. Both the Model 3 and the Model Y have the exact same size touchscreen, 15 inches for both. I would say on the Model Y, it is more responsive because this Model Y features hardware 3, whereas my Model 3 has hardware 2.5. And so for those of you who don't know, that's just the type of computer that it has in it. The hardware 3 is the most up-to-date, and then the hardware 2.5 is sort of a generation back. As you can see in the Model Y, this front seat has a ton of legroom. Again, I'm 5'9", but there's plenty of space if you were a taller person to easily put your feet down and feel pretty comfortable. You don't have to have your legs at a weird angle to make it comfortable. You can just sort of sit just like this. And if you look above, there's a lot more space above my head as well. So it just feels a lot roomier. It's really comfortable and airy. And then also the panoramic sunroof is just really, really noticeable from the front seat, and it is beautiful. With this being a 2023 Model Y, there's a slight interior refresh here. So as you can see, the design has changed from what you saw in the Model 3. There are 2 spots to charge your phones in a wireless capacity. This now pushes back. There's a pretty deep compartment there as well, and additional space here. The glove box is actually about the same size as it is in the 3. It's a little bit bigger, but similar concept. But overall, another thing to note is that you have wood paneling here and on the sides of the doors as well. That is new for 2023 for the Model Y. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the Model Y long range and the Model 3 long range. The Model 3 starts at $47,240. The Model Y starts at $50,490. I did not pay that amount. I'm actually a little bit sore about that. I paid a decent amount more than that. Tesla had a few discounts that people were able to benefit from, not me. Let's move on. So the Model 3 with range, you're looking at about 333 miles. For the Model Y, you're looking at about 330 miles. Now, the Model Y also has an option for a 7-seater that allows you to pack a ton of people in that. I didn't need it, so again, I stuck with the 5-seat variety. And the Model 3 maxes out at 5 seats as well. Now, here's the big difference, cargo capacity. We're talking 76 cubic feet in the Model Y in comparison to 23 cubic feet in the Model 3. That is a drastic difference and well worth the upgrade if you ask my opinion. Now, they both have the same drivetrains, all-wheel drive dual motors, which are great. And in terms of acceleration, the Model 3 is a little bit speedier, going 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds in comparison to 4.8 seconds for the Model Y. Now, top speed, again, Model 3 gets a nod at 145, and the Model Y tops out at 135. I love my Model 3. It is sleek, it is sporty, it is fast. It is a design that inspired the Model Y's design. It's a great car all around. Now, the Model Y, in my opinion, is the one to buy here because, again, it has that similarity to the Model 3, but it's bigger, there's more leg room, it's fast. The range is also really comparable to the Model 3 as well. And being a dad of a 5-year-old, I can't choose against the Model Y. It simply is the best all-around car that Tesla has for sale right now. That concludes my comparison of the Model 3 and the Model Y. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos in the future, and I'll see you on the next one.